Ever find yourself pausing mid-sentence wondering, should I say I haven't enough time? Or is it I don't have enough time? It's like this tiny fork in the road, linguistically speaking. But it really trips up so many of us, especially if English isn't your first language. So today, in this deep dive, we're cracking open this, common confusion. We want to make sure you sound natural and clear every single time. The verb have is, well, it's a fascinating chameleon in English, isn't it? It seems to have these two distinct personalities. Sometimes it's just a very straightforward main verb. It shows possession, like I have a computer.
Right, or she has a dog.
Exactly. It's about owning something or holding something. But then it sort of transforms. It becomes a helping verb.
Yeah.
It joins forces with another verb, making the present perfect tense, like I've done my homework.
Or they have finished the project.
Precisely. And understanding which role have is playing, that's truly the key, I think, to getting the negative forms right.
What's really fascinating here, I find, is how logical the rules become once you actually spot which job have is doing. So when have is that main verb, the one indicating possession, like in your example, I have a new book, the negative form is always don't have.
Okay.
Or doesn't have, depending on the subject, of course. Our sources are very, very clear on this. So I don't have a car. That's correct.
Right.
But saying I haven't a car, that's actually grammatically incorrect in modern English. It can sound quite formal, maybe even a bit outdated.
Like something from an old movie.
Exactly. Almost like something from a classic novel,
Practice.
And it's just the same for other subjects. If you're talking about someone else like she has a dog, well, that clearly becomes she doesn't have a dog.
Not she hasn't a dog.
Definitely. She hasn't a dog in that context. So rule 1, for possession, remember, don't have or doesn't have, that's your go-to.
Okay, that makes the possession rule surprisingly clear then. It really does simplify things. So no more I haven't a car, unless maybe you're aiming for that period drama vibe, right?
Pretty much.
But this is where things often get tricky, I find. When have isn't about ownership at all, but it's part of a bigger action. That's where I hear a lot of confusion. How does the rule shift then, when have is acting as that helping verb in the present perfect tense?
Ah, yes. This raises a really critical point about precision, especially with the present perfect. And here, the logic completely flips. It's the opposite. When have is functioning as a helping verb, so it's part of a verb phrase like have done or has spoken, then you must use haven't or hasn't.
Okay, must use haven't or hasn't.
Right. This describes an action that started in the past but has some kind of connection or relevance to right now, to the present moment. For instance, I haven't finished my homework yet. That's the correct way to talk about that incomplete action.
Makes sense.
If you said, I don't have finished my homework yet, well, that would be incorrect.
Right, because the have there isn't about possession.
Exactly. It's helping the verb finished. It's part of that verb team. Think of it like this. If you're talking about a recent action, maybe I haven't eaten breakfast yet, it clearly implies the action of eating is what you're negating, not your possession of breakfast, right?
That's clear.
Another example. She hasn't spoken to me for 3 weeks. This accurately tells us the action of speaking hasn't happened during that time. If you were to say, she doesn't have spoken to me, it just sounds grammatically, well, illogical.
It sounds wrong.
It does, because have isn't the main verb there showing possession. It's all about recognizing the specific job have is doing in that particular sentence.
And that really brings us to the core of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For you, the listener, it just boils down to figuring out the role of have. Is it about owning something right now, possession? Or is it part of an action, something that's been completed, or maybe not completed, up to this present moment? If it's about ownership, you reach for don't have or doesn't have. But if it's about that past action connected to the present, then haven't or hasn't is your word.
Exactly.
It's a subtle signal, but wow, it makes all the difference in your fluency, doesn't it?
It really does.
So we really hope this exploration has untangled what can be a common sticking point in English grammar for you. Knowing when to use haven't versus don't have. It's not just about being technically correct, it's about expressing yourself naturally, clearly, and with confidence.
Yeah, and if we kind of connect this to the bigger picture, mastering these distinctions that seem small, well, they really elevate your precision in English significantly. It's about understanding that internal structure of words and sentences, almost like an engineer understanding how all the different parts fit together to make something work.
That's a great analogy.
So pay close attention to how fluent speakers use these forms. Listen for them in different situations, conversations, maybe shows you watch. You'll start hearing these rules in action all around you. And that'll help make your own communication feel much more natural and ultimately more impactful. If you found this useful, please do subscribe, click that like button, and ring the notification bell. It really helps us keep creating content like this for you.